So we did a poll, and one thing that seemed to really win some votes was gaming reviews. And right now we are playing The Last of Us Part 2, so naturally I have a review that we would all love to see. Raid Shadow Legends. A mobile game that is honestly Game of the Year material. Sorry. I'm just kidding. But I had been playing Raid Shadow Legends for a while, and I thought it'd be funny to make a kind of review of it. Because it seems like everyone's sponsored by the game. And so here's the review, guys. Is it a good game, or is it worth your time? And I want to take this time right now to apologize for any sound you guys are hearing. Right now my cat is on my lap, and so I'm petting him, and he's just purring really loud. So if you guys hear a purring cat, sorry about that, but also not so much because he has a cute purr. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I mean, if you are really into mobile games, it's like worth your time, I would say. Now, I would say take my opinion with a grain of salt, because I have played Resident Evil 5 and 6, and I committed to Hearthstone even after it went downhill. So my taste in gaming is questionable at best. But I would say Raid Shadow Legends is a solid game. I like the auto feature in it, since it allows me to grind while I do things, and I'm fairly busy, so I don't really have a ton of time to play games recreationally. So with Raid Shadow Legends, I can kind of put on auto and get a lot of like this grinding done and kind of even out the playing field for myself. A lot of times, like, I really just can't get into mobile games because, like, I'll play a mobile game and then the skill gap and the grind gap, and there's such big gaps between players. And as someone that doesn't have a ton of time to really go and commit, my life to a mobile game, especially when there's so many other great games on console I prefer to play, that I fall very far behind the pack. And then when you fall too far behind, there's no point in playing a game at some points. Like, there are some games, once you fall too far behind, it's over for you. But the gameplay is actually kind of fine when you actually play it. It is a mobile game and not a AAA title, so it's like, don't play it expecting to get these, a life-changing experience. I mean, it's pretty solid, and it's a fun game for a mobile game. And by the time it gets stale, like I said, you can always hit the auto button and let it do the work for you while you play something completely different. There are a lot of daily, weekly, monthly tasks, and there's some solid login bonuses. There's challenges and events, and there's even missions you can do. There's a storyline as well, and dungeons. You can do like clan bosses as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do, which does keep the game kind of fairly interesting. And there's a lot of good drops and a lot of things to kind of grind for, which I do like in games, and is one really big reason why I got so into World of Warcraft when I was younger. I just like that ability. I can just kind of grind the same boss, get a ton of great things, and trying to like upgrade my gear and upgrade my characters. There is an arena for PvP, and the PvP kind of makes it so there's a payoff for the grind. So you kind of grind, level up your stuff, and you're able to utilize it to kind of go into the PvP arena and start trying to beat some people down. I will say that the PvP arena is really strange on how it does its ranking, because there are some people, I'm not really high rank in the game, I don't do a ton of PvP, or I don't really win a ton of PvP to begin with, but there's so many people who like stomp me into the ground that are considered to be within my like range of points. Maybe they're just AFK players that got knocked down the ranks though, but that is something I think they should kind of look into, is maybe getting some of those like really tough guys out, so this way I'm not being stuck with entire lists. Because how the PvP works is there's a list, and you have to refresh it, and you get one refresh that's free every 5 minutes, or you have to refresh with gems. And if you get a bad refresh where it's like all these people have teams that are so stacked, it just gets really tough, and it kind of can be demotivating. And I will say, with a lot of free mobile games, there does tend to be a gap between players who spend money on it and people who are just playing it knowing it's a free game. And to some degree, this does exist in the game, but also there's a way to generate gems. Now, it's not like super, shrinking that gap, but it does shrink the gap a little bit. It does create a little bit of difference, because you can save up your gems, and if you spend them wisely, like I kind of hold on to them and spend them in little doses here and there, you can get a decent amount of gems, and you can still kind of buy your way up and close the gap a little bit. And that's kind of helpful. Now, there are still some things exclusive to cash buying, and there's some things that just you're going to get more help when you pay cash for it. But there is a way to kind of get around having to spend cash for a good amount of things. And there are a ton of champions that you get and you can use in a variety of ways, and this does lend to different strategies, which is pretty cool. There's like a whole bunch of them. I don't know how many off the top of my head, but it does keep the game fun. I actually have like a few favorites that I just kind of stick to. My one favorite is like my only legendary. His name is Errol. He's pretty sick, and he's really strong. Now I did notice that the difference between like the legendary to epic to like it's very big. Like my guy can completely wipe the floor of all these like epics, which are purple, and they can wipe the floor with all the rares, which are blue, and so on and so forth. So there is definitely like within that, and if you spend money, you can definitely get more legendaries, just because you do get these like free shards to open up, and one of them is the legendary shard, which can also give you epics. And all but one time I've opened these legendary shards, I have gotten an epic, and the only one legendary I got was Errol. So if you pay money and you get more of those legendary shards, you could definitely get more legendaries and have like a really stacked team. Now, I will say this is a common issue I do have with a ton of mobile games, and that is the fact that the game crashes. It doesn't crash a ton. Like when I compare it to other mobile games I played, it does not crash like the most, but it definitely does crash here and there. And one thing I do like is that you can report it, and that it does seem to be taken care of. Like every time I've reported it, seems like the game has crashed less and less on me. And also, for instance, I'm filming this on the 30th of June. So yesterday there was some kind of maintenance they were doing to it, and it kicked me out of the game, and they gave me a bunch of like rewards today to kind of make up for what I lost yesterday, which was kind of sick. I really like when games do that, where they're like, listen, we know you're probably trying to play the game yesterday. Here you go. Here's some rewards to kind of, to make up for what we took from you. So I thought that was pretty sick. I really like that about the game. But it doesn't really take away from the experience either, because, like I said, they do seem to be working on it, and they do seem to like really respond to that, and they do give you things in return to help out. Now, I do kind of feel like my experience with this game is a little jaded, since I legitimately had zero expectation for the game. I went into this game feeling like it was going to be like the worst thing I've ever played. I just kind of like went in with a completely empty mind, and when I had started playing this, I had been playing like a ton of other games, so I just kind of need something to like blow off some steam. Like, oh, if it's a bad game, it's a bad game, but something I can kind of pick up and just do something with, And I have to say, I think that the game itself is pretty solid. Like I said before, I think it's not a horrible game. I think that a lot of people don't like the game because they sponsor everyone, and it comes before every one of the videos that you watch is that that the sponsors Raid Shadow Legends. But honestly, as a mobile game, it's pretty solid. Like if I were to put this, I'm not going to put this in the running with console games because that's just so unfair. And if I put it, and I know that you could play it on PC, which I don't do, but I definitely, just because you can doesn't mean you should, and doesn't mean that it should be considered a PC game. This is a mobile game. This is made to be played via mobile. Now, I wouldn't say it's better than Hearthstone when Hearthstone was at its prime. I used to really love Hearthstone. I put a lot of time to that. I loved Grim Patrons. But it's actually really solid for a mobile game. It's pretty fun, and like I like the grinding aspects. So you could tell they put a lot of effort into the game. And I mean, trust me, I know bad games. This just isn't a bad game, and I have experience. As you guys know, I've played the second half of Resident Evil 5, and I played the entirety of Resident Evil 6. So I know a bad game when I see a bad game, and this just wasn't it. I really kind of do enjoy the game. I still play it today. I've actually been playing it for almost a year. So I've definitely committed a lot of time to the game. So if you're looking for something to kill some time, it's definitely worth checking out. But if you want a life-changing experience, again, this isn't it. It's just a mobile game. You're not going to have everything kind of change you're not going to have this new perspective. There is a storyline, I think. I don't pay attention to it, and I totally just click through all of it. It's like a little, like, it pops up these little, like, storyboards, and it has, like, I don't read it. I just play it to get my grinding, get my gear, and just kind of go level up. But I hope you guys did enjoy the review. This was just a fun little something I wanted to scrap together before I start rolling in with some more serious reviews. I just kind of want to do something fun. I was actually texting my friend, and I was like, I think I'm going to do a Raid Shadow Legends review, just because I keep hearing everyone talk about it. We will have a Last of Us Part 2 review coming up after I beat the game. I am actually typing up a pretty lengthy review, very in depth, and I just want to make sure to give that game 100% of my attention. This one's just more fun, just kind of scrapped together and thrown in for fun. The Last of Us Part 2 I really want to take seriously and give you guys a very, very well-versed review. There will be spoilers in that one, though. And I just want you guys, let me know what games you guys want me to review down below. I think that'd be cool. I'm definitely willing to check out different games. If I've already played the game, I can give you guys some of my opinions as well. I'd like to shout out the channel's members and subscribers. We have LordBlueEyes / FrankieG, who you guys should check out. I'll have his link in the description, and just Lightsy, who I'll have her link in the description as well. She's awesome as well. But thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys enjoy the review. Peace.